history is divided into three parts: ancient history, medieval history, and modern history. Ancient history deals with the Stone Age man and all the prehistoric period. Medieval history deals with the Middle Age, that is about the Mughals, about the Marathas, and about the entry of the Britishers into country of India. Modern history deals with the modern age, that is the fight between the Britishers and the Indians to gain independence. This year we will be studying history about the medieval age, that is about the Mughals, Marathas, etc. Moving on to our first chapter, sources of history. As said earlier, history is the study of the past. Therefore, history gives us a chronological, systematic, and scientific account of past events. Whatever the historians have found, they required it to prove authentic with the help of something called as proofs, and those proofs are called as the sources of history to write history. Without the proofs, without the sources, historians were unable to write the history. Therefore, sources of history means proofs based on which history is written. There are three main types of sources of history. First is material sources, written sources, and oral sources. Material sources deals with all the buildings, monuments, roads, bridge constructed during the medieval history, that is by the Mughals or by the Marathas. Written sources deals with the forts, inscriptions, copper plates, all the writing work, painting work were all termed as written sources. And the third type of sources, oral sources, that deals with OVs, also called as short poems, and stories. These are all examples of the oral sources. The author's impartiality and neutrality are very important in writing history. The sources to be subjected to a critical analysis. All the historians who have found the sources, they are critically analyzed and then considered as an important source or the proof to write history. Moving on to our chapter number 2, India before the times of Shivaji Maharaj. Today we have a proper government for India. We have a president, we have a prime minister, we have a council of ministers also. But during the medieval history, India did not have proper government, nor it had a proper king for the country of India. The country of India was divided into various kingdoms. Those kingdoms were called as dynasties. Each dynasty would have king, and that particular king would rule that particular small dynasty, kingdom or empire. There were four such important dynasties. First is Pal dynasty, existed in the place of Bengal. Next, Chauhan dynasty. Famous king was Prithviraj Chauhan. Third, Chola dynasties. Important kings Rajaraj I and Rajendra I. Both of them were brothers and both of them together founded the dynasties of Cholas. The last one, the Yadava dynasty, which was also called as the golden period of the Marathi language. Invasions from the northwest. As mentioned earlier, India did not have proper government, proper king to rule. At the same time, India was a rich country, and for that reason, it became advantage for the foreigners, foreign powers to come to India and establish their power. Initially, these powers they came to India for the purpose of trade. But once they came to India, they realized that India did not have proper government, proper king, and for that reason, they started establishing their power in the country of India. Arabs were the first foreign powers to come to India in terms of political contact. Next were Turks, Afghans and Mughals from Central Asia who came to India and established their power in the country of India. Sultanate in the North. There was this person from Afghanistan, Muhammad Ghuri, who had come to India for the purpose of trade. Once he came to India, he realized that there was no ruler of India, and therefore he had conquered a lot of territories in the country of India, and to look after these territories, he appointed a person called Qutbuddin Aibak. After him, the various other Sardars and Sultans who came, among them Ibrahim Lodi was the last Sultan of the Delhi. Daulat Khan and Ibrahim Lodi were not in good terms, and for that reason, Daulat Khan invited the Mughal emperor named as Babur to India to fight against Ibrahim Lodi. And that is how the Mughals got entry into the country of India, and Babur became the first Mughal emperor to come to India. Now, these two important kingdoms which were emerged in the south of India, those were named as Vijayanagar kingdom and Bahmani kingdom. These kingdoms were founded by two brothers, and their name was Hariyar and Bukka. Hampi was the first capital of Vijayanagar, and Hariyar became the first king of Vijayanagar. After Hariyar, there were various kings who ruled the kingdom of Vijayanagar. Among them, the most important one was Krishnadeva Raya, a great scholar. Scholar in a sense, he was very famous in terms of writings, art and architecture. With the death of Krishnadeva Raya, the kingdom of Vijayanagar came to an end because there was no efficient ruler to take care of the kingdom of Vijayanagar. The Bahmani kingdom. Hasan Gangu, founder of Bahmani kingdom, he was the first king of Bahmani kingdom. He appointed Mahmud Gawan, the Wazir of Bahmani kingdom. Wazir means a person who is appointed to collect the taxes, revenue from the people of the kingdom. Now there was the battle between Ibrahim Lodi and Babur, and that battle was termed as the First Battle of Panipat, which took place on 21st of April 1526. Babur became victorious and enters the country of India, and after Babur, the various other Mughal emperors who ruled India, among them the last one was Aurangzeb. When Aurangzeb ruled the country of India, he had to face a lot of enemies. One such enemies were known as the Ahoms. People from Shan community living on the bank of river Brahmaputra, they called themselves as the Ahoms. Aurangzeb wanted to capture their place, that was Ahoms. Ahoms were very powerful. They had a battle with the Mughals, that is Aurangzeb, and in the battle the Ahoms became victorious and Aurangzeb could not capture the place of the Ahoms. Moving on to our third chapter, religious synthesis. All of us know in India there are people who follow different types of religion, they speak different types of languages and they follow different types of cultures. That is called as diversity of languages was an important characteristic of Indian society. India follows the concept of secularism. Secularism deals with the freedom to follow, to choose your own religion. This gave rise to something called as the Bhakti movement. Bhakti movement means the path of devotion, the way to worship God. Bhakti movement emerged in south of India and it has two parts, namely Nainars and Alvars. All the people who followed Lord Shiva, who worshipped Lord Shiva, were called as Nainars, and all the people who worshipped Lord Vishnu were called as Alvars. During the medieval history, various saints played an important role in spreading the word and the message of God. Among such, the important saints of the Bhakti movement were Sant Ramanand, Sant Mirabai and Sant Kabir. The important message given to the people by the sons were, God is one for all. Chaste behavior. Good behavior, helpful behavior is termed as chaste behavior. Humanity, also called as insaniyat. Hindu-Muslim unity. These were the message that was given by the saints to the people of the medieval history in the Indian society. Let's summarize what we have learned now. Sources of history. Material source, written source and the oral source. Dynasties in the South India. Dynasties means kingdom, empire, namely Pal dynasty, Chola dynasty, Chauhan dynasty and Yadava dynasty. Bhakti movement, also called as path of devotion, the way to worship God, and the various saints of the Bhakti movement. I request all of you all to please read the lesson and mark the important points. Thank you.